Modern Warfare 3's new Vortex event kicks off tomorrow, and with it comes a few additional items. The biggest of those come in the shape of the new reskinned map variants, 3 to be exact, and these are them. So today I want to showcase some of the footage I'm allowed to share now with you from all the way back the first week of December, pre-Season 1's launch from Sledgehammer Studio, and the gameplay capture session we had there, share with you my takes on it, as well as probably just giving you the lowdown on the entire update that we know of so far at hand, because I more than likely won't be around to cover this update when it happens tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm starting 2024 off with a funeral, but wanted to mention this stuff here while it's possible and keep you in the loop for what is coming tomorrow. So drop your thoughts, drop a like if you enjoy, and consider subscribing if you want to stay on top of everything Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, and other FPS content like X-Defiant and others. So that said, for now though, let's talk about these new maps. First, Sporeyard is the one that I want to touch on first because that was my personal favorite here at this. It's Dark Ether-like, but of course set in Scrapyard, in multiplayer. But you have that different skybox, that different thematic variation of it. Aesthetically, I thought it looked pretty good. You have that aquamarine color, which I personally am a fan of, but beyond that, one of the big things that is nice is that yes, it is dark, it's set at night, it's in the Dark Ether here with this, but unlike what we'll see with, say, Satan's Quarry, which we'll talk about next, while it is dark, you can still see for the most part just about everything. Satan's Quarry, on the other hand, has a lot of areas, or at least had a lot of areas from when we played it. Maybe it's updated since then, and the version that we played a month or so ago at this point, but there were shadowy portions of that map where it was like impossible to see some character models that were donning all black. In Sporeyard, you have enough light from the spores and the sort of blue aquamarine textures around the map in play, while also having enough from the skybox also outside, lighting it from above. So it's a nice combination, I think, of here of a nice dark aesthetic, but also still being vibrant to its own right. Now, that said, talking about Satan's Quarry, again, I did really enjoy this one as well, but as you can see from the gameplay, it's absolutely a lot darker. I think the overall aesthetic of this is really cool, where it's got these sort of magma cubes instead of just regular rocks of the quarry, but if you're looking, say, cross-map or anything like that, that's where visibility starts to diminish a little bit, where it's not as easy to see character models and player models, and it may become problematic. Again, hoping that there was some sort of adjustment made since when we played it, again, about a month ago at this point, but who knows. Additionally, I am hoping that there is some adjustments to the spawn system on Satan's Quarry, because you'll see there's a clip or two here of this where I got spawned, like straight up spawn killed. And it was funny at the time because I had a dev right behind me watching my perspective, watching some of my gameplay. And I sat back in our chair and I just looked back at it. I'm like, yep. So hopefully that was something that got relayed back to the team here and we end up seeing some adjustments here to it. But preliminarily, at least, some of the spawns were a little rough. Beyond that, Tetanus, unfortunately, I did not get to play with this. The way this capture session worked out, we were a little crunched on time. It was a shorter one by comparison to some of the other ones I've done in the past, but it was one of those things where if you had enough time, like you were one of those first games that ended up finishing your games finished quickly, because there was like, I don't know, 5 minutes left instead of like 10 minutes, the two different lobbies and how they were staggered, they didn't start a third match at the same time. So my group didn't quite get to that third match, whereas the others ended up getting to play that third map of Tetanus. So I unfortunately don't have any footage of it. I think my friends Mr. Dalek JD, Exclusive Ace, and a few others probably have some footage up on their channels if you guys want to check it out. But honestly, from what I've seen so far, it looks cool. Hopefully people do enjoy it. It's one of those things like ship miss. It's not really something that you can change a whole ton of that fundamentally speaking. So, I mean, it's a chaotic map as is, so it's probably still going to be chaotic, but just again, thematically reskinned differently. Now, the one thing that I will say that was interesting is that these are specifically made for this Vortex event upcoming. And the big marquee item here of this was the Vortex LTM, which is kind of like your King of the Hill style reward gameplay, where that King of the Hill ends up having the ray gun in multiplayer. So if you kill the player with the ray gun, you get the ray gun, and you can go on a tear and try and get as many kills as possible with that if you have it. Now, that said, when you actually look at the gameplay of what we had for Sporeyard and Satan's Quarry and what others had also of Tetanus, we played regular game modes as well, like kill confirmed, TDM, and those standard modes. So I'm hoping that these still stick around in those playlists and rotations, even if it's not with that specific LTM. And honestly, one thing that I do hope also happens not only just with the maps coming with the Vortex event, because I think these are really cool thematic reskins, but I also hope this happens with the Cadmus event update as well, with Hangover and Shipmas. I would love to see these maps in the regular rotation, even outside of just these specific events, so that they last longer than just 2 weeks. I feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity to end up spending this time reskinning and retheming these various maps, which no doubt took some time for them only to be live for 2 weeks at a time. I think it'd be cool to see these in the regular rotation because I think they're like different enough as is that they could offer a bit of some unique perspective that, yeah, they're not brand new maps, but they're also not the same maps that you played exactly 1-to-1 for the last 14 years since Modern Warfare 2 in 2009 came out. But anyways, here's the hoping for that. Other than that, there's some additional content in the way of a new event coming alongside this. Right now, it hasn't been explicitly detailed if it will be challenge or XP oriented. I'm kind of guessing it's going to be XP oriented since the way the wording of the blog announcing this ended up talking, it didn't seem like they were referring to challenges, more so just XP along the way. But at the end of that, you're going to see that new universal magma camo, which I think looks pretty cool. I'm actually looking forward to that one. There's been a few sort of reward camos that we've seen that aren't too exciting. This is probably one of the nicer ones, I think, in regards to there's a slight animation. It looks pretty cool at the base. So looking forward to grinding that one out and getting that one. And finally, the last thing to know about this kind of stuff is that it will be lasting until mid-season, so you have a 2-week window here for this. It's going to be going away on January the 17th, just in time for that mid-season reloaded update for Season 1 and the next iteration of content actually coming with new maps, ranked play, some stuff probably for zombies and Warzone, but that is what we have here for this update itself as of tomorrow. Now, right now, there's no details on if anything is coming for zombies and or Warzone, but it kind of looks doubtful in that way. It seems like this is going to be a more multiplayer-oriented thing, which I'm totally fine with. I feel like in the past, multiplayer's absolutely been neglected, so to see some stuff here for the multiplayer side just being multiplayer only, I'm okay with that, actually. So, anyways, right now, that looks to be the case, but honestly, I do think it'd be awesome if we could get some sort of maybe cobbled together filler round-based play on these couple of maps, because I mean, you have these as a zombies into multiplayer crossover type of thing, but wouldn't it be cool to just have some of that classic gameplay? People that don't necessarily maybe like DM zombies, maybe they can have something to play with as a result if you were to bring just some basic zombies gameplay onto these 3 different maps. I think it'd be cool, but again, it'd be like a niche thing, kind of like what they did with Onslaught back in Black Ops Cold War, where I don't know how played that was in the grand scheme of things, but for a certain player, it was something that people really liked. So again, one of those like niche kind of like, okay, we can cobble it together and put it out there for anybody that likes it and use those maps a little further than, again, just the 2 weeks of gameplay and then just toss them to the side. But anyways, that's where we're at. That's the update you can expect as of tomorrow and everything that will be coming along with it. So again, just want to fill you guys in here with this because we likely will not be able to cover the update as it happens tomorrow. We'll get back into the swing of things here afterwards, Thursday, Friday. If there's anything substantial in terms of like weapon balancing, we'll have probably updated class setups if that's something that does happen. But for right now, this is kind of what we know the update will be. So just wanted to fill you guys in while the opportunity was here. But that said, that's what we're going to call it. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of the Vortex event and the gameplay changes coming? Do you guys like the looks of these maps? Not so much. Whatever the case, drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, X-Defiant, and other FPS content here on the channel. I'd love to have in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.